do it. No problem.
So that's a little bit of the who we are, the what we are, and so I'd like to introduce people that you already know, Richard and Connie, to share with you the why of why your participation is so important.
Want some of this, baby? Okay, I'm going to read this, okay? Because I know I've said it several times, but I just want to get it right. Just over 2 years ago, on April 21st, 2008, our lives changed forever. That was the day Emma was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We had begun to notice she was unusually thirsty all the time, and she was 2 years old at the time of her diagnosis, and she was drinking so much milk we could hardly keep up with it. We thought maybe she was just going through a growth spurt. She was soaking through her diapers and looking thinner each day. In 1 week, she lost 3 pounds. That's when we started to get really concerned, and we didn't know these were classic signs of diabetes. We just knew that something was terribly wrong with her. My wife called the doctor, and we were able to get her in that day. Never did we think we would hear those frightening words, "We think your daughter may have diabetes." After they did a blood glucose test on her, the meter simply read high. This meant that the blood sugar level was over 600. Normal levels around 100. We were asked to take Emma to the emergency room in the hospital immediately. Upon arriving at the hospital, we were immediately taken back to the room. This was very scary for us because we were waiting. The waiting room was full, and we were rushed back without having to wait even a few minutes. The nurse retested Emma's blood sugar, and again the meter simply read the word high. My heart sank, and we felt scared, and we were sad for my baby girl. They rushed to put her in an IV in her arm, and we began our new journey that we never ever imagined would ever be part of our lives. Later that night, we found out that the actual blood sugar level was 749. This was a life-threatening situation, and we were blessed that we got medical attention when we did. We spent the next 4 days in the hospital with Emma, getting her blood sugar levels regulated and learning everything and anything that we could about type 1 diabetes in the short time that we had there. 11 months after Emma was diagnosed, our youngest daughter, Caitlin, who was 18 months old at the time, started to show the same symptoms that we noticed with Emma right before her diagnosis. At first we thought we were just paranoid. Really, we never believed that both of our children would be diagnosed with diabetes. One day, Caitlin woke up in her crib soaked in urine, and my wife walked into her bedroom and told me her heart sank. That's when we knew that moment Caitlin had diabetes. We agonized over pulling out Emma's meter and checking Caitlin and her blood sugar, and we did, and the number revealed the truth. Caitlin had type 1, her blood level glucose was 439. We took her to the doctor, and she was hospitalized immediately and diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, 11 months and 2 weeks after Emma was diagnosed. So here today, 2 years later, and thousands of injections and needle pokes later, we're here to tell you our story. At times it is painful, but it is one that is filled with hope. Hope for a cure. Hope that you will leave here today and join us in our journey to find the cure that we dream of. And Connie's going to give you some insight on a daily basis, what she does.
From the first moment that we heard those words that our daughter has type 1 diabetes, it was life-changing, to say the least. We knew nothing about the disease at the time, so we had no idea what we were in for. But we knew we wanted to do everything we could to not only raise awareness for it, but to also try to find a cure. A typical day for us starts around 3 a.m. with the first of many blood sugar checks in a day. And I do this because I want to make sure that my girls are safe at night, that they're not going to have a blood sugar that's too high or a blood sugar that's too low. I can't tell you how many sleepless nights we have endured as a family, just agonizing over the health of our kids, worrying that they're going to have a low blood sugar that could cause them to slip into a coma or die. And that's the reality of it. It's a scary one, but it's real. So every day we weigh, we measure, and we count all the carbohydrates that our kids eat. We never get to just sit down and enjoy a meal as a family. Everything we do has to be calculated. We can't have spontaneous moments. A lot of thought has to go into everything. They have to have insulin for every meal. We have to check their blood sugar for every meal. We can't just like pick up and go. We have to have meters. We have to have needles. We have to have insulin. So all of our spontaneous moments have to be planned. Imagine having to poke your finger every single time you want to eat something. Imagine having to receive a shot with every meal and snack that you have throughout the day. These are things that are a reality for my kids and for so many other children and adults who live with type 1 diabetes. It never ends, and it will not end until we find a cure. It's why we decided we need to form a team and do all that we could to become an active participant in finding that cure. Last year we decided to form Team MCAT. And we don't have any family here in New Mexico, but that being said, we had the amazing support of all of you guys here at Supply One. You guys really embraced us as family, and you helped us do all that we could to reach our goals. We sent out emails and letters, and with the help of Supply One nationwide, we had 26 walkers show up on walk day, and we raised over $5,600. And we couldn't believe the success we had, and it was all because of you guys. It felt like a dream, and it was a dream we didn't want to end, because we know as a family that every dollar we raise, we're $1 closer to the cure that we dream of. And it's why we're here again today, to continue our dream for a cure for type 1 diabetes. And hopefully our dream will be your dream too, that you will leave here today inspired and ready to join us, unite our community, and get out there and raise the money that's needed to help fund our research to find a cure for type 1. I hope that someday soon my girls will have an opportunity to know what life without diabetes is like. I mean, they've basically lived their entire lives with this disease, and they don't know what it's like to be able to just go to a restaurant and sit down and eat. A day where they can go to the park and not have to pack blood glucose meters and juice boxes to prevent dangerous lows. A day where they won't have to receive 4 or more shots. A day where they aren't getting their tiny little fingers poked with a needle 8 to 10 times or more. A day where they can just be kids. And we believe that with your help, we will see that day come. So thank you guys.
Thanks for doing that.